Yeah, we monitor this quite closely. I do spend more time socially listening than the issue that we just discussed. Predominantly because we every single Monday we survey all of our customers that have bought with us and that have flown with us as well. So we're monitoring the buyer experience online, and we're monitoring the actual balloon experience as well. We think that's important. We do that to get stats, obviously. But
how do you survey them?
By email. So they're pinged off to an online survey that they complete. They give us their feedback, set of questions.
That weekly?
We do that weekly, yeah. So, and there's a prize as well at the end of the flying season for those that have taken part as well. But as a result of that, our confirmation page of the email says to people, there's an independent review site called Do You that we try to encourage people to, whether good or bad, 9 times out of 10 it's obviously good for us, and if we can we'll get them to post reviews about us on an independent review site, which again encourages, because people do shop around as well as shopping around for voucher codes, they'll shop around for opinion on that particular company as well. I regularly monitor what's being said about us online all over the place, and we actively seek people's opinion on this. We've got a discussion page on our Facebook page as well, and it's all different channels. Every channel that we can use to communicate with our customer, we do to get feedback. That is very important to us. This is only going to get more and more important for us. Basically, we actually have to report on customer satisfaction as well. In terms of the sites that we'd want to be associated with, I think that's a really good question. Again, I don't necessarily get a chance to validate, if you like, every single affiliate of ours. And again, it comes down to the fact that we trust the Webgains platform as well, and we trust the affiliates. Obviously, if there was a site that was doing anything drastically terrible, really bad, sort of horrible content, defamatory content, anything like that, we'd be straight in touch with Webgains and say remove it off there. But as long as our brand is protected within our brand on that site, then I think you're relatively safe as a merchant. It certainly is an issue, especially with the smaller sites, who haven't got a big brand presence like somebody like My Voucher Codes. It certainly is an issue.
I think you've got to think about the users on that particular site. If they're looking at a particularly rubbish site that's got awful content or whatever, they're still choosing to look at that site. So if they're happy with looking at a site like that rather than a mainstream one, then you've got to assume as long as they're coming to your site.
If it takes you to your site, they
they're
get
not
to the
gonna,
right place in the end.
They're not going to look at a rubbish site and think, Virgin Blue Pledge on this terrible site, I'm not going to go there. And they shouldn't be looking on the rubbish site in the first place. So
But they're not found the rubbish site. The rubbish site are obviously doing something right in the first place to be found. So,
so as long as the traffic's getting sent to the site, once you've got the traffic, then it's your job to generate the sale and then look after the customer. So as long as the customer's getting to you, then that's sort of the aim of the game in the end.
What was your opinion on that, because you asked that question?
Yeah, just actually on that point, my big criticism of the affiliate industry are affiliates that build sites for SEO and not the consumer experience. And I think that's a real problem as well. And I think that's the next evolution of affiliate sites, is not building for Google, it's building for consumers. In terms of sites you want to be associated with, I agree. I think it's actually in the finance sector. I mean, they've got the FSA and they regularly do spot checks on who they want to be associated with, because there's actually a governing body there. But I do think over time that's going to become more important to make sure that you are associated with the right type of affiliates that project your brand in the right type of way. I regularly see merchants that perhaps want to be perceived as more of a perhaps a more premium brand, and don't necessarily want to be associated with sites called Discount This or that kind of thing. It's that whole kind of perception thing. They want to avoid that, and so they're going after the true content sites, or perhaps sites that don't have an immediate discount term in their name. On the whole idea about brand listing, there's an agency I know up north called Summit Media. And they've got a number of prisoners. They actually operate, run affiliate programs, and they've got a whole branch now, and they'll regularly, I'm not sure exactly how they do it, but they've got tools and techniques to identify whether what people are saying about their brands. Because the trouble is, it is all about SEO. At the moment, those problems come up and someone types in Virgin Blue Flies, and suddenly the third link or second link is someone having a go at you. That's the big issue.
Yeah, we've got, like I mentioned, the independent review site Do You. Everybody's sort of familiar with Review, who do products, electronics, and do use not so much products. It's sort of servicey type things. So, and you're dead right. Yeah, so you type in and it'll be number 4. Whether it's positive or negative, it'll be sort of number 4 because we've been on their site for such a long time. There's loads and loads and loads of reviews about us on there, and thankfully most of them are very good.
And now you've got Twitter creeping into live search as well, don't you? So that's also a problem. And also, is it Google Instant that launched today or yesterday?
Yeah,
so suddenly you
Google
see associated
yesterday.
keywords as well.
Yeah, I'd be really interested to get the affiliates' feedback on that as well. What they think that Google Instant will that have an impact? I don't think there are any affiliates here today that do heavily focus on the PPC side of things, but I mean certainly it's an issue that we'll be monitoring and seeing whether that will have an impact on us. Very similar to what Bing have been running for a while, but if you're locked into Google through your Gmail or whatever, it will obviously, people that have looked at our site before will get shown that as a preference over perhaps a competitor. So you know it is going to have an impact on search. How big or not, I don't know. So we'll have to see. Yeah.
Anyone else say anything about brand protection? I've not seen it yet on ours. I mean, I have looked here and there. I saw it on one of our resellers, actually, some derogatory comments on an independent review site, and wonder what can be done about it. I know you can try and knock down results down the search page using SEO and flooding that particular term if they were looking for it. But also, I think you can just answer it.
The key thing is our way forward. Our way is to deal with it directly, deal with the individual directly, respond. Certainly not to get bullied into submission, and just to offer any reasonable response that we would offer anybody who called into our call centre. The most detrimental thing we believe is to be seen to be not responding at all or ignoring it. And the thing we get on Twitter constantly is there's a joke about balloons, and because it's always, they always seem to mention Virgin balloons, and we've sort of had the odd Twitter comment that comes through and says that any joke about balloons will immediately be retweeted at Virgin Balloons. So I get all these, on my searches. Stupid jokes about balloons and God knows what coming through. So I'm thinking, okay, fair enough. And I think, but it's all adding up to traffic for us and how many mentions we get. So it's like, fine, feel free.
The thing is, it's really about controlling whether it's good or bad. I'm not sure if it was Dell or somebody else. It was like IHateDell.com or something.
Yeah, it's been a few.
And they'd actually bought the URL, but a whole load of people were just basically slagging off this one company, and they bought it and just kind of took it on board and instead ended up top as a hero instead of them being the evil Dell. They kind of just rolled with it and got Twitter, and it really depends if you answer the questions and if you're upfront and you don't avoid it. If you try to dodge it, then you get into more trouble. I mean, I think it's Skittles did a successful Twitter campaign. They didn't really have any skeletons in the closet, so to speak, and had it running on their website. And it was just people. Even though some of them were slightly rude, say, it was a good way to kind of build a relationship with those people, because for Twitter, or my opinion, Twitter is it shouldn't be the corporate face. It should be something quirky about your company. It shouldn't be noise either. Constant having 20,000 tweets a day isn't going to benefit anybody, especially yourself. But if it's quirky, if it's light-hearted, if it's interesting, if it engages them, whether it's taking them to an interesting story about Virgin balloons and someone proposing maybe in the sky or whatever. Okay, maybe not
3,000-foot proposal.
Yeah, exactly. Then the good or bad, if you roll with it and you can kind of control it by addressing it straight on, then you could, whether it's top or bottom, you still have it under control, so to speak.
I do say no publicity is bad publicity. So.
You can always use it. Everything's an opportunity, I always think. If someone says something bad about your company, talk about your company good. That's the way it should be. Does anyone else have anything to contribute to that?
Just following on from what you were saying there, it might be the cynic inside me, but I often find if I've gone on review sites and things like that for a hotel, whatever, if it's just full of constant praise and good results,
You don't believe it, do you?
I tend to think, as you mentioned earlier again, it's a bit too good to be true. And it makes me actually not fully believe or trust the content. Whereas, you know, if there's one or two, I'm not saying you want a whole list of negatory reviews, but if there's one that says, oh, you know, it was average or something like that, then it makes me believe the whole content and the reviews more than necessarily that.
Yeah, and I think it's the same. You know, personally, when I would go on Amazon and buy something, if I see something derogatory about a product, I'll read it and go, well, that's not relevant to me. We've recently instigated Bizarre Voice. Does everyone know about Bizarre Voice? It's ratings and reviews for your product. And they advised us, it's only early days, we've only got a handful of reviews so far, but to put on the derogatory ones or the ones that weren't complimentary, because it gives texture to what you're doing. I'm exactly the same. I don't believe 100% reviews all the time. I'd rather read the bad ones, you know, and see if I agree with it.